The Raptors run out of gas against the Indiana Pacers, 118-104. Welcome to Raptors Tonight. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Sherman Hamilton, Jack Armstrong, and Paul Jones. Jack, I thought the Raptors were going to win this one. How did the wheels fall off for them defensively during that second half?
Well, it's your classic case of playing 96 minutes in less than 28 hours, and you kind of run out of gas, and you don't have Fred VanVleet along with the other three guys that didn't play last night. I thought they played really well in the second quarter. I thought they played well for parts of the third quarter. And quite frankly, they ran out of gas. They couldn't keep people in front of them. They couldn't really do a good job executing in the half court. And it all came back to bite them a little bit. But, you thought they were going to win. I felt the same way, Randy. I felt really good tonight. I loved how they played. They played really well for a long percentage of the game. They really did. So I came away encouraged from that perspective. But the reality is when you're missing four guys, and obviously when you talk about Siakam and VanVleet in particular, and then even Achua and Birch, who potentially could be, who would be on your second unit, play a little bit, it has a major impact. I just think the pecking order plays itself out. And the longer Indiana played, the more their better players got to make plays.
Yeah, sure. It's still, even with all those guys missing, as Jack mentioned, it still felt like when they were in control enough to win this game. And reading Twitter, a lot of fans are saying, this is a bit of a heartbreaker. How did you feel watching it?
Well, when you look at the numbers, I mean, the Raptors won the points in the paint battle, 52-40. They won the offensive rebounding battle, 16-11, with 21 second chance points scored. They won the turnover battle. I mean, they forced over 20 turnovers and scored over 20 points off those turnovers. So there was some good statistical numbers that would lead you to believe that the Raptors were in control of this game. However, when you're a minus 36 from the three-point line, it's a big, big difference. And you got to tip your hat to the Pacers. I mean, they didn't play the greatest game. They turned the ball over. They're out-rebounded, but they shot that thing really well, made 19 threes in this game. And to me, that was the difference. But it's all predicated off of what we saw happen to the Raptors last night. The paint punch of the ball, the ability to get into the guts of the defense and constantly punish them at the rim. And now it shrinks your defense, and now the three-point line gets opened up, and all of a sudden now you're scrambling defensively. You're fatigued, as Jack mentioned. Second game of back-to-back. You don't have the amount of bodies you need to kind of survive that push, and it's difficult. So credit Indiana, but the numbers look really good for the Raptors. To your point, Randy, about why it felt like the Raptors should have won this game, but you just can't overcome that 36 points from the three-point line.
Yeah, and Jonesy, building off the numbers theme here, tough to win a game when your starting backcourt goes 5 for 29.
Well, yeah, I think Sherm's made a valid point about the three-point line. And, to your point about the numbers, all the other numbers line up. Raptors they hold teams to about 81 field goal attempts per game, which is the best in the NBA. Indiana had 82 tonight. Problem was they made half of them. And I just thought, both the guys, both Jack and Sherm talked about it. That second night of the back-to-back, it's a classic second night loss where your legs fail you in the second half and late in the game. You come out and your mindset is, I don't care about the back-to-back. You come out with the energy. Hey, they're up 15 in the first half. And then all of a sudden somebody says, here's the piano, put it on your back and keep running. And you just, your mind is telling you you're working hard, and your body is telling you you're working hard, but it's your step slow. You're just not getting it done. And again, to with your theme of the numbers, 21 turnovers. They forced 21 turnovers. They hold them to 82 shots. They do, they out-rebound them on the offensive glass, 16 offensive rebounds for 21, like all of that. But they just weren't able to get stops and force misses and get rebounds when they needed. And then I think they start squeezing the ball too. They were up the whole way. And once they got down, because they'd been up so much, now they're playing the other team and the clock, and they're pressing a little bit. And you don't have guys that are out there normally that say we're okay in Pascal and Fred. Look, I thought they got a great game from Thad Young.
Yeah.
I thought Boucher was good off the bench.
Definitely.
I think Otto needs to be a little bit more aggressive, but then again, he's working his way back into the lineup and he's playing the right way. He's not hunting his shots, with impunity. He's waiting for them to come to him. So there were a lot of good things, but unfortunately, they took an L.
Yeah. And Jack, just going back to Boucher that Jonesy mentioned, Fred VanVleet said in a post-game press conference a few games ago that the scary thing about Boucher is that he's even better than he looks. It's really cool to see him playing the way he was. I saw him play a little bit pickup in the summer, and this is what I'm seeing from him, that same type of attitude, that same type of effort. He's expanding his game a little bit more. It's just, it's great to see how much his game has grown.
Well, I think it really matters to him. That's what I love about him. He loves the game. He's a very prideful guy and a tremendous competitor. And tonight, you knew he was going to come out and play at a very high level, which he did, and made all the different types of shots. And he just sticks his nose in there, and he's fearless. He's just a bulldog of a competitor. So, and I look, Aaron Gomez came in and rebounded the ball. I thought Banton played well. I thought I saw some solid minutes from Malachi Flynn as well. So there was some real positives there. To Sherman Jonesy's point, I just think they ran out of gas a little bit. But I don't like last night, Randy, I was disappointed in how they played. Tonight, I was a lot more realistic when you look at who they don't have going into the game. And then I evaluate after the game. Yeah, they didn't hold on to the lead. I don't even say if it's a win, but they didn't hold on to the lead. Well, I come away going, hey, look, I saw a lot of good things tonight. I was encouraged by how they played. And they get a day under their belt in terms of rest and get ready for Detroit on Monday night. I feel confident they can win that. So, they're 7-7, but the sky is not falling. And if you look at the Eastern Conference right now, you look at the balance overall in the NBA, nobody's pulling away from anybody that much that a 3-game win streak can't solve. To me, that's how I feel.
Let's say this. Let's remember this, Randall. After 23 games, a quarter of the season last year, the Raptors were 9-14.
Yeah.
Right? And they were searching. Now, they're off to a better start this year because there's a little more chemistry. Now they're at 500 at 7-7, but that's offset by the fact that you don't have Pascal, you don't have Precious, you don't have Fred, and it's going to take especially Pascal and Precious time to get their form back. So, look, it's still early, and water's still finding its level.
Sure. Canadian Benedict Mathurin played tonight, obviously. What were your impressions of his play?
Obviously it wasn't one of his better games based on what we've seen him do in the early part of this season, but this kid's talented. He's got this confidence about himself and his game to back it up. And, you look at Indiana and you look at, Halliburton, you look at Mathurin, you just look at these guys and you say, they've got a young kind of guard core that they can build around for a long time. And there was so much talk about moving Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Well, now you look at it and you say, hold on a second. Yeah. What can be done with this core if we kind of build around them and maybe keep one of those two guys and see what this core can do? So they've definitely given the Indiana Pacers a different feel. They've given them a different look. When you project forward, you see some real positives that could happen out of this group. Now it's about management building the right way around these guys and seeing what they can do to get this team to the next level.
Jack, when you look at his play, Mathurin, can you assess his ceiling? I know it's very, very early, but just the way he's playing, I know he went 6th overall. To me, I look at that and I would take him higher. I don't know how much higher, but probably 3. Like, I just love the way this kid moves.
Well, I don't know, where you want to go 1 through 6 or whatever. I get all that, the debate that goes on all the time. I'll say this, though. He jumps off the page. He's explosive. He's got giddy up. He's got game. He's got it. I love him. He's got an explosive first step. He can finish at the rim. He's going to become a good shooter in the league. He's got swagger. He can keep guys in front of him defensively. He can guard off the ball. He's got quickness. He's got speed. He's got ability. He's got, again, as I said earlier, it. I like him. I'm a big fan. And I think he's a tremendous young player. And yeah, he's got a lot. He's super confident. And sometimes that'll come off in a negative way. You go, maybe he's a little cocky and all that. But you know what? I like what I'm seeing. And I think he's going to get an opportunity on a team like Indiana to play a lot of minutes and play through mistakes. As long as Rick Carlisle and their staff continue to be challenging and hold him accountable, then he has a chance to be a very good pro.
Yeah. Jonesy, real quick, next one tough against Detroit, who always seems to have their number since Dwayne Casey left.
Yeah, I know Detroit's like, 3-11 or whatever, but, they've been on the rebuild for a while. And you're right, Dwayne Casey always seems to have the number. And let's face it, he and Nick Nurse coached together. And, Dwayne knows the stuff that they're doing. Some of it was what he left behind because it was successful. So, the Raptors will have good support in Detroit. A lot of people cross the border. They'll have a little bit of energy in the building on their side, but look, Detroit's desperate for a win too. There's two teams looking at each other like fresh meat. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But if you're the Raptors, short flight, get to Detroit, get off your feet, get your rest today, rest it tonight, tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to have shoot around on Monday, but you've got a little time now to catch your breath after the back-to-back to get ready for Monday night.
Yeah, and I'll end on this real quick story. Sherman, you mentioned all these young guard play from the Pacers, and you forgot to mention Nembhard. His brother, he's also Canadian. His brother, Ryan Nembhard, plays at Creighton. And I remember he was 16 years old and he was playing in a men's league with me at U of T. And I was, I think, 38, 40, something like I was winding down my men's league career. And I took myself out at the end of the game to put in this 16-year-old kid against men, and he hit the game winner. So just so you know.
I'm just surprised that you said you were winding down any career. What are you talking about? What is that?
My men's league career.
Who says they were winding down a men's league career? You need to close the show now.
I was nice back then.
Okay. Randy, so was Kool-Aid.
Randy, you're only 38. I thought you were like 20.
No, this was when I was 38. This was years ago, Jack.
How old are you? I thought you were.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Jack, it was back when he was winding down his illustrious men's league career. I can't believe you said that, dude.
Randall, I have a soft spot in my heart for Andrew Nembhard.
Oh my goodness.
He played biddy ball with my Andrew and his dad Claude, former executive director of the Ontario Basketball Association. And I have had many a dinner sitting around moving empty glasses, running offense. So
nice.
Claude, the Nembhard family literally lives around the corner from me, north of Toronto. So nice to see Andrew in the NBA and happy for him, his dad Claude, his mom Mary, Ryan, the whole family.
For sure. And I was just saying, sure, like Ryan, my talent evaluation was such that this kid's going to be in the NBA. He's got to jump in.
Now you're a
GM.
Hey, Ryan was going to make it without your recognition or not.
Okay, fine.
Just cool.
Let's stop it there.
Randy, I thought you and Ryan were the same age. I'm in total shock now. Sure, I can't believe this. Randy's in his 40s.
Well, let's not put that out to the world there, Jack.
Let's not put him out there like that, Jack. His illustrious men's league career is over now, so let's leave him alone.
All right, let's stop it there. Next game for the Raptors is Monday night against the Detroit Pistons. 7 p.m. Eastern is the tip after the game. Be sure to catch Raptors Tonight on YouTube and NBA TV Canada. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
We love you, Randy. We love you, Randy.
Sometimes.
We love you.
Sometimes.
We love you.